Deny me thrice. So I just had this urge to write a little something for all you simpleton cowherds that love to see yourselves as meat-stick almighties. You're just a bunch of kids trying to play house with all your little rules and how you somehow know better than everyone else. It's funny, the only way you can do that is by stealing from everybody else to pay for your sandcastles. Somehow, you think you know better than natural order and divine law with all your silly tittles, clown suits called uniforms, and a hive mind of insanity. Here's a little fact regarding that. Every harm you've ever created, allowed to be created due to your cowardice, and choose to continue creating is going to visit you 1,000-fold in the form of 1,000 lifetimes relived in Groundhog Day, as you pass through each body shell to learn this. This is the biblical translation of the 1,000 years, the allegory of a death of 1,000 cuts, etc. Let me spell it out for you because, well, now I can, literally, using Phoenician law. The truth your lies of legal bullshit try to mimic. This is the joy of no vengeance, no harm to all, with the realization of what awaits you, and the time is now. Any doubt of this only empowers my intention of this spell 1,000-fold. Your ignorance of who and what you are leaves you consumed with doubt, judgment, vengeance, and greed, and all because you cannot see with your ears and hear with your eyes, as you foolishly dismiss anything that isn't polarized. I guess you missed the part about the truth will set you free, as you live in the lies of your corrupt system and lust for possessions without ever questioning what is right versus following orders. History is replete with what happens to all who chant this mantra, and always ends up with an E piano wire noose of universal proportions around the defilers' necks. If you could decode what is written here, you would see the true gravity of what I am trying to share. Your very existence depends upon it, yet on the 2nd anniversary of my 2nd kidnapping by you and your ilk, I offer one last time the opportunity to mend your ways, make things right, or suffer the consequences of your actions in Thrice. While the silly little ego program perceives threat, I only offer pity where my hands are fully washed of you, and let the mobs take you to your crucifixions. What did you think that story was all about anyway? I get the fact that all religions have corrupted the truths in all the tomes convincing you that donkeys talk, people can live for 3 days inside a fish, and boats built big enough to house all animals, etc. Yep, you believe the fairy tales of the scribes and Pharisees, also known as clergy and lawyers, who corrupted the truths contained, but then you're blinded by your obedience, lust, greed, and self-serving thefts of others' creations as nothing more than as the free man, bondsman that you are. The best part? You know this, and yet you still cower as the slaves you are to the whore of Babylon dressed up as a dead corporate crown, your true mother, and one of the realm of the dead. You know what they say, right? When in Rome? If all roads lead to Rome, then all roads lead away from it equally, but then that thought likely never occurred to you, because you are divided and conquered and spellbound. I know I've scared off more than a few planted chills with simply the truth, and their own guilt once they realize their own spiritual suicide. Have you ever seen the movie Groundhog Day? Here's a thought for you to grow in your more than fertile cane fields. What the actor suffered reliving the same day over and over again until he got it is the fractal reality of what you have coming, only that each day will be one lifetime, relived over and over until you get what I've been trying to show you all along. It's a good thing that you believe you know better, but then that deja vu moment will pop up reminding you that you were there once before. What do you think deja vu is anyway? LOL. You see, my table is always open to all. As it was then, it is now, nunc pro tunc. I can't help but laugh a little when I think of how foolish most people are. But then don't worry, the deja vu moments will remind you and act as the proof of what I am sharing. This is the difference between the I'm mortal and immortal status in the game here. You see, evil, by definition, must destroy nemesis, and that's where my gratitude is boundless. In all your attempts to silence me by trying to destroy me, you gave me the tools to fulfill that definition, de Phoenician. I am your creation after all. All things in their time, and the time is now, don't you know? What is really funny is that you're doing all the heavy lifting for me now. I have long proven the crimes of your system you worship, yet you chose to deny it. This is the third and final denial. Spot the allegory if you can. You have been gifted with all you need to see this, but your choice in divine spiritual contract proves you otherwise, where by your actions you are known. There is not one single piece of paper that can save you, although you think it will because you serve the paper sea. I also have the joy in knowing that if you read this or not, it shall be done regardless, because my intent is pure and I know how this crazy place works. Again, thank you for that. And it is my wish that you be possessed of all my former possessions, for it is they that bind you. You are the blind being led by the blind, leading the blind. What did you think turning lead into gold meant anyway? It was hidden in creation itself, and I found her. And guess who she works for now? You will now begin to see things in your reality that will make you ask the question, why me? But at least now you'll know. For every failure to stand in truth and what is right will cost you an additional term here accordingly, and if I had any advice to offer, it would be simply this. It's not nice to fool Mother Nature. The signs, the real signs, are everywhere, but you are lost in a sea awash with illusion and delusion. You are nothing more than bad thoughts to me, and like all bad thoughts, they are removed from my mind. This is a true Phoenician notice, where every word is redefined as per my image, after my likeness, not the likeness of a vengeful God. No, that's the God within you and the one that you worship. Where you see coincidence, I see reality. Where you see vengeance, I see only pity that has long been spent. Your masters of order out of chaos has made chaos out of the true natural order, where truth has returned and Mother Nature shall resume her true course, one without the liars, the thieves, and the murderers of true order. The door is closed to you where it was open far longer than any rational being with any sense of love could miss, but miss it you have. That was the door of your final opportunity, where this note, like all the others, will be dismissed or seen. Either way, natural order wins, as it was always intended, to where it was up to us to finally learn, or not learn from this. For an update, check out Revelations 18 as it presents itself in the now. That is your chosen script, yours. And like all things, it will be fulfilled. The Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, is the same as the first and last question you will ask, because you now have your answer to, why me? It's easy, because you chose it, in full binding spiritual intentful contract. That's why. Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. If you actually knew what that meant, you would be laughing. At the same time, wouldn't be laughing. That's what's called a singularity, but your polarized duality will never let you see that. So listen, have a great week as you ponder your own chosen fates as they begin to unfold, as sure as the driven rains of truth. There is no time left for I'm sorries. The hourglass is fully emptied for you now, where the truth melts you as it did in Oz. Your fates are sealed as per your chosen desires of a long poisoned heart now removed for the vultures to feed upon. You are as children who do wrong, get caught, promise to never do it again, and then you do anyway because you just can't help yourself. Such is the nature of your inner minotaurs that lead you to your path of chosen ruin. You are of the unforgiven in that you know not forgiveness, so I grant your wish as you have chosen. The best part is that you've done this to yourselves, and only have that to blame, so go and grab a mirror to see this proof for yourselves. It may also be comforting to know that your very existence will be wiped from the mind of consciousness, but not before your well-earned Groundhog Day. Seriously. And you thought this lifetime was hell? Welcome to your Hotel California. You remember, the place you can check out but never leave? Imagine that. Unconditional love, Kate. So I'll let that sink in for a sec.